Her name was Emily, the Emily that girls copied on Instagram, the Emily that walked into a room and everybody's eyes followed, the Emily that said, "Stop life or no life," and people laughed and wrote it on t shirts. She was the queen of soft life, but her story was not soft at all. It began with a dream and ended with a door that opened to a place we cannot fully explain. Listen well, drink water, hold your breath when I say hold your breath. And if your heart beats too fast, put your hand on your chest and say, "It is well." Because this is not just gist, it is a lesson wrapped in lace, a warning folded into a love story. Emily grew up in Benin City with a mother who sold gold colored bags and a father who moved like a quiet lion. They were not rich, but they did not lack. Emily was sharp, beautiful, and hungry for light. When she came to Lagos to chase content creation, she promised herself, "I will never go back unless I go back with Cyrene." Very soon, brand deals came like Sunday jollof rice, and her followers grew like dry season fire. She learned how to look into the camera like it was a lover and speak each word as if it was sugar. People called her Slay Empress. She smiled, but inside, she felt something she could not name. Sometimes at 3 a.m., when the generators in her estate hummed and the night smelled like diesel and salt, she heard a voice from her window say, "Emily, rest." She would close the curtain and turn up Afrobeats and dance alone in the soft red light of her room, trying to drown the voice. But the voice did not fear music. It started the night of the Black Lace Party on Victoria Island, the kind of party where perfume floats like money and laughter has diamonds mixed inside. Emily arrived in a gown that held the room, with lashes that could fan a small fire. Cameras flashed. Her best friend Amara, a pretty girl with kind eyes and fast hands, waved from the VIP lounge, holding two drinks like invitations. Emily gave that half smile that said, "I am here, I'm shining, but if you think you know me, think again." She took pictures with fans, hugged a comedian who whispered secrets in her ear, and sat on a couch that felt like clouds. Then the room tilted. It was not alcohol, it was a shadow, a coolness, a hand she could not see but could feel. The kind of hand that knows your name without asking. She stood quickly. The DJ switched to a slow song, the kind that melts even a proud heart, and the sound thinned like silk. Across the room near the balcony was a man in a white kaftan that glowed softly, as if the moon forgot to leave him alone. He was tall, but not loud. When his eyes met Emily's eyes, she heard a voice that did not use her ears. It said, "Finally." She blinked. The man smiled with a sadness that looked expensive, and he walked away, disappearing through people who did not notice him at all. Emily followed, as if the air pulled her gently. She reached the balcony. The night smelled like the ocean. The man was gone. Only a faint scent of rain remained. On the floor, under the balcony light, lay a small silver anklet with tiny bells that did not ring. When she picked it, the bells whispered, "Larry." That night, when she slept, he came. Not like a horror story, no, like a memory you forgot, but your heart did not forget. He wore the same white kaftan, but his feet did not touch the ground. He stood by her bed as the curtains moved like they were breathing. His hair was black like a wet road. His skin the color of fresh palm wine mixed with soft night. His eyes deep like the lagoon when the moon is tired. He said, "Emily." She tried to scream, but the scream sat in her mouth like a shy child. "I am Larry," he said. "I have been with you since your mother prayed for a daughter who would know love without fear. But men saw you and turned you into a show. I waited." "Are you a ghost?" she asked, voice shaking like spoon in cup. "I am not a ghost," he said. "Call me what people fear to call, a spirit husband, but do not fear me. I did not come to take your life. I came to give you truth." Emily wanted to run, But where would she run? He was in her room and also not in her room. She held her pillow as if it could fight for her. What truth? That your heart has been a market, and unclean hands touched your joy. I will buy that market back with something no man here can afford. Time. What do you want? She whispered. One kiss before midnight, he said, softly. One kiss that will cost you one secret. My secret? She asked. The secret you hide from even yourself, he said. Give it to me, and I will give you peace. Refuse, and I will still protect you, but the storm will come strong, and you will learn the hard way. Emily laughed a small, angry laugh. You think I will kiss a spirit? For what? For likes? For views? Please. She turned her face to the wall. When she looked back, he was gone. The anklets lay on her bedside table, the bells silent. She could not sleep again. She sat on the floor till morning and watched the city grow light like a patient waking up. Days passed. Strange things began. Wherever she went, rain followed. Even when the sun was bright enough to make children cry, her videos looked too perfect. So perfect that some of her followers said, be calming down, this life is not cinema. She would start a live video, and the lights would dim, and her voice would change, becoming soft like water. Brands liked it. They paid more, but her smiles were heavy. Then came Kola, the handsome PRO prince, son of a big hotel owner in Ikoyi, a man who wore suits like they were made for his bones. Kola was gentle and smart and walked like he knew the way out of every building. He had been watching Emily's rise and wanted to help shape it. He messaged her politely. They met at a rooftop restaurant with a view of the lagoon that made people forgive Lagos for its traffic. He listened to her talk and did not interrupt. She liked that. He did not touch his phone for 1 hour. She loved that. He asked, what makes you afraid? She almost said, a man named Larry who is not a man, but swallowed it like pepper and smiled. Bad lighting, she said. They both laughed. Kola respected her boundaries and never rushed her. When he walked her to her car, he kept a nice distance, like a good song that stops at the right time. She went home feeling light for the first time in months, but when she reached her bedroom, the air was cool again. Larry stood by the window, eyes full of starlight and patience. You liked him, he said. Don't turn my life to cartoon, Emily snapped. Who are you to comment? A shield, Larry said simply. But now you are asking for a sword. Go away, she said, but there was no anger in it. Please. I will go, he said. But remember, one kiss before midnight, one secret for your peace. The storm is coming. He disappeared, leaving the smell of rain. The storm did not wait long. Someone leaked a video clip of Emily at the Black Lace party, not doing anything wrong, just looking like a goddess. But a gossip blog added a fake voiceover that said she was attached to a hidden lover in white who no one could see. Comments started. People laughed. People judged. A fake pastor posted a clip saying slay queens fetch husbands from rivers. Brands paused. Followers fought in her comments. Amara blocked the comments on Emily's new post. Take a break, Amara advised softly. People are loud now. They will calm down, drink tea, sleep. Amara did not say it, but her eyes asked, is there truly a man in white? Emily hugged her and cried quietly. I don't know. That night, Emily slept with the anklet under her pillow. Dreams came like films. She saw a village river at dawn, women singing softly, a boy standing on a rock, eyes bright, hair wet, a white wrapper tied around his waist. He looked at the sky and said, I am not from here, but I will protect her, the girl whose laughter will shake the city. The water touched his feet and shivered. The dream changed. She saw a young woman running through a market, carrying a baby with a birthmark shaped like a crescent. The woman ducked behind a basket of dry fish and whispered, Please. Feet ran past. The woman kissed the baby's forehead and said, A good spirit will follow you, but be careful with bright lights. Emily woke with tears in her eyes and the taste of smoke in her mouth. She checked her ankle. Without wearing it, the anklet was already around her leg, the tiny bells cool against her skin. The next day, Kola called. Come with me to Abuja for a brand pitch, he said. It will be good for your image. We will set a new narrative, clean and elegant. Emily wanted clean and elegant. She said yes. They flew to Abuja, checked into a hotel with mirrors that smiled back at you, and went to a quiet restaurant. As they ate, an old woman selling beads came around like the evening breeze. She pointed at Emily's ankle under the table and whispered, My daughter, you carry two lights. One will save you, one will blind you. Emily smiled politely and bought a bracelet. After the old woman left, Kola said, The old are poets. Emily nodded, but inside her stomach fluttered. She went to the restroom, washed her hands, and looked into the mirror. For 1 second, Larry's reflection stood behind her in white, eyes dark with warning. She turned around, empty hair. She leaned on the sink and breathed. When she returned to the table, her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. It was a video. She pressed play. The clip showed Kola in a room with a power broker woman, someone who loved influence like honey. Kola said, If I bring Emily to sign, what will be my own? The woman laughed. You? You will be the one who holds her leash. Emily's heart fell into her stomach. She looked at Kola smiling easily at the table and felt cold. She did not cry. She did not shout. She remembered Larry's voice. The storm is coming. She said, Kola, I'm tired. I need sleep. He offered to walk her up to her room. She said no. She went upstairs alone, closed the doors, slid to the floor and held her knees. She wanted to hate Kola, but her heart still wanted to find a reason. A mistake, a misunderstanding. She looked at the anklet and said, Larry, if you are real, come. It came like a quiet rain through an open window. I am here, he said. Did you send that video? Emily asked. No, he said, but truth finds those who ask for it. What do I do? She asked, voice small. Answer me first, he said gently. What do you want? Not followers, not brand, not noise. You, Emily, who do you want to wake up to? Her eyes stung. I want to wake up to peace, she said. I want to wake up and not feel like my smile is a performance. I want love that is not a show. She took a deep breath. I am afraid. He stepped close, not touching her, just being near like cool shade. Then take my offer, he said. One kiss before midnight, one secret. Tell me the secret you hide from even yourself. If you give me the truth, I will carry you through the storm and give you peace, even if the world shakes you. What if your kiss binds me to you forever? She asked. People say spirit husbands lock doors. Choice is the master key, Larry said softly. If you kiss me and give me one true secret, I will not lock you. I will free you. If you refuse, I will still guard you, but the lesson will be heavy. What is the time? Emily asked. 11:47, he said. She closed her eyes. Her secret rose up like smoke she had been holding in her lungs since she was a teenager. She opened her eyes and whispered, I do not know how to be loved without performing. I am afraid that if I stop shining, nobody will stay. The words left her mouth and shook the air. She felt light and weak at the same time. Larry's face softened with something like pride. Thank you, he said. Now, the kiss. She hesitated. Then she stood on her toes. Their lips met like two rivers, touching for the first time after a long, dry season. It was not hot or wild. It was gentle and deep, like breath. When she opened her eyes, the room looked clearer, like someone washed the windows. The anklet bells chimed once, small and bright, and then melted into her skin like water. Larry stepped back. It is done. What will happen now? Emily whispered. The storm will come, but it will pass, he said. You will see who is for you and who is not. and you will meet me again, not in dreams, but where the city ends and the water begins. He faded, leaving a faint smile behind, a smile that followed her into sleep like a soft guard. Morning broke with noise. The gossip blogs posted a picture of Emily in Abuja with the headline Slay Empress plans Abuja takeover with new handsome manager. Who is he? Kola called and knocked, knocked, knocked. Emily did not open. She sent him a message. We are done. He tried to call. She blocked him. She called Amara and said, I will be home tonight. Please cook rice. Amara laughed and cried. Come back, she said. At the airport, Emily walked quietly, head high. A young girl, maybe 14, shy and skinny, came to her and said, Auntie Emily, please can I hug you? You helped me stop feeling ugly. Emily hugged her, and the hug pushed fresh air into her lungs. The girl's mother whispered, God bless you. Emily smiled, felt like crying, but held it in. On the plane, rain started suddenly, hitting the window like small fingers. Emily put her forehead on the glass and said softly, Thank you, Larry. Back in Lagos, things moved fast. The brand that planned to cancel her deal changed their mind after seeing her new calm video. She spoke to the camera with no makeup, wearing a simple Ankara kimono. Sometimes the noise is loud, she said, but joy is a quiet thing. People loved it. They said, see authenticity. But not everyone was clapping. Kola's pride turned dark. He sent messages to bloggers trying to stain her image, a shadowy group. People who believed attention is a god that must be fed came close, inviting her to a midnight meeting on the island with promises of bigger brands, cleaner image, instant power. They laughed at prayer and called it slow. They loved mirrors, candles, and oath. Amara begged, Don't go. Emily said, I will not go. But that night, the group moved without her and still posted a story that she attended. Lies spread like Amatan dust. The next evening, Emily made a live video at the third mainland bridge, hair tied back, face free. The lagoon behind her was calm, the sky a soft grey. She said, I have one thing to say. Peace is not for sale. She ended the live and turned to leave, and that was when she saw him, Larry, standing where the city ends and the water begins, just like he promised. He looked almost human now. The hair around him felt normal. Passerby glanced at him and did not freeze. He smiled. You came, he said. You said I would meet you here, Emily replied, heart steady. He nodded at the water. There's a place I must show you, but you must trust me. Emily looked at the lagoon, remembering all the stories people say about it. She thought of her mother's prayers, her father's quiet strength, Amara's care, the young girl at the airport. She took Larry's hand. It was warm. Together they walked to the small wooden jetty where fishermen tied their boats. An old fisherman looked at them, eyes wise like old books. He nodded once. The water knows the truthful ones, he said. He pushed the canoe with a stick. Go and return. They climbed into the canoe. The water rocked like a baby rocking itself. Larry did not row. The canoe moved by itself, gently, carrying them towards the darkness under the bridge. The city sounds fell away. What replaced them was a humming, like the beginning of a song. Emily felt peace climb her body like sunlight. In the shadow, Larry spoke. I was once a man, he said quietly, a long time ago, in a village by a river. I loved a girl whose laughter could guide travelers. But the land was cruel, and jealous men did a wicked thing to keep me from her. I made a vow with the water to stay until I found a heart that needed the protection I could not give that day. Your mother begged for a child who would be loved truly, I answered. I stood beside you when you were small and afraid of thunder. I was there when you sat alone at 12, feeling like a shadow. I tried to keep your joy. I did not always succeed. Men are loud, spirits are patient. But now, your truth has opened a gate. What gate? She asked. A gate where time can bend, he said, where a promise can be completed. There is a prize, but it is not pain. The prize is choice. When they came out from under the bridge, the lagoon widened like a silver cloth. The sky opened, and in the distance, a soft bank of mist glowed. The canoe glided to a small strip of sand that did not look like it belonged to our world. They stepped down. The sand was cool. The air smelled like first rain on dry ground. A woman stood there, wearing blue wrappers, eyes bright. You have brought her to me, she said to Larry, and she has brought herself. Who are you? Emily asked, careful but calm. I am the keeper of Promise Water, the woman said. Some call me River Mother, some call me Peace in a Cup. Names are many. Truth is one. Emily, you have a choice. You can take the path of echo. Keep living for cameras. Let people feed on you. Stay shiny and hungry. Or you can take the path of voice. Live as a person again, not a product. Keep shining, but on your own terms. With peace. If you choose voice, Larry can become human again. For a time, to finish a promise. He will not own you. He will walk with you. If you choose echo, Larry will step back, still guarding you, but you will learn by falling hard. We do not force. Emily's eyes filled. She thought of her empty house and her full page. She thought of the kiss. She thought of Kola and of Amara sleeping on her couch when she was sick, of the young girl at the airport. I choose voice, she said. I choose peace. The woman nodded. Then, listen. She touched the water with her fingers and whispered. A ring of gentle light rose and rested on Larry's head like a crown and then melted down through his body. He gasped softly. When he looked up, he looked completely human. The hair around him lost its silver taste. He was still beautiful, but in a way that could sweat and laugh and trip on a stone. He looked at Emily with wonder, as if he had just been born. I can feel the night breeze, he said, laughing. I can feel hunger. Good, the woman said, smiling. A man who can feel hunger can also feel gratitude. She looked at Emily. He will stay as a man for 1 year and 1 day. If by the last sunset of the last day he has fulfilled his promise to protect your joy and help you find your own voice. If not, he will return to the water and the world will forget him. Forget him? Emily asked, fear bumping her ribs. Not you, the woman said gently. The world. Memory is also a gate. Use your time well. She touched Emily's forehead. Go in peace. The storm will still try, but it will break. They returned to the jetty at dawn, and Lagos was beginning to stretch and complain and shine. The fisherman nodded again, as if he had been watching a map only he could see. Larry squeezed Emily's hand, marveling at the simple feel of fingers. They took a taxi home, listening to the driver tell stories about fuel price and football and a dream he had about rain. Larry laughed at jokes like a child discovering sugar. Emily kept watching him like she would wake up and the room would be empty again. But he ate akara from a roadside woman and wiped oil with his thumb and thanked her properly, and her heart settled a little. When they reached the apartment, Amara opened the door and stopped, like someone pressed pause on her soul. Who is this? She asked slowly. This is Larry, Emily said carefully. My friend. She wanted to say more. She did not know how. The truth is heavy and soft at the same time. Amara looked at Larry's eyes, something old and kind there, and she breathed out. Welcome, she said. Please, both of you, enter. The next month were a new kind of movie. Not the type on Instagram, the type people live quietly. Larry learned fast how to use a phone, how to stand in the kitchen and not burn stew, how to hold an umbrella in Lagos wind. He was curious about buses and markets and the way children ran on sand. He respected everyone, greeted security men like uncles, greeted cleaners like aunties. Brands kept calling Emily, but she said no more than she said yes. She built a small series, Soft Life, True Life, where she talked about fear, money, boundaries, joy, friendship, and faith without sounding like a lecture. She showed her real mornings, messy hair, quiet prayer, a walk by the lagoon. People loved it more than any gold dress. They said, "We feel seen." Some shouted husband material when Larry appeared accidentally in a reflection. She laughed, he blushed. They did not rush anything. At night, they talked. He told her about the village, the river girl he could not save, the vow he made. She told him about the first time a brand called her asset, and she smiled but wanted to cry. They held hands sometimes on the balcony, watching the city breathe. But the storm did not forget its job. Kola's quiet anger turned into a plan. He joined hands with the shadowy group who liked oath and mirrors. They said, "Bring her. If we cannot own her, we will fold her." They cooked a scandal like hot pepper soup. False receipts, edited voice notes, fake DMs, a photo that looked like Emily in a place she had never been. One Friday night, while Emily and Larry were eating suya and laughing at a silly joke on TV, the internet caught fire. Exposed. The truth about Slay Empress. They screamed. Emily's phone rattled like it had fever. Amara ran from her room, eyes wide. "Don't open it," Larry said softly. But Emily said, "I will not hide. Peace is not fear." She opened the post. Her stomach turned. The lies were sharp. Her eyes watered, but no tear fell. She looked at Larry. He nodded. "We will answer with light," he said. They called a live press meeting at a small community hall, not a fancy hotel. They invited real people, not just cameras, neighbors, the Akara woman, the security man who smiled like money, a teacher who used Emily's videos in class to teach confidence. Emily spoke clearly. "I am not perfect," she said, "but I will not be owned. Lies are loud, but I am still here." Larry did not speak much, but when questions pushed, he said, "Truth is patient." Something in his voice made even the proud sit back. Then the twist came, sharp and unexpected. In the crowd, the old bead seller from Abuja stood up and said, "The one who set the trap is here." She pointed gently towards the back. People turned. A tall woman with eyes like sharp glass tried to slip out. The fisherman from the jetty blocked the door. "You forgot that water remembers faces," he said softly. The woman froze. Kola, standing beside her, tried to smile. He did not reach his eyes. The old bead seller spoke again. "You played with mirrors and forgot they reflect on both sides. Return what you took." The woman's hands shook. She opened her bag and pulled out a small black charm tied with red thread and a folded paper with Emily's photo. She dropped them on the floor, ashamed. The crowd murmured. Kola tried to speak. The words died like wet matches. Emily did not shout. She simply said, "This is not my road. I choose peace. May God judge justly." The hall seemed to exhale. The woman covered her face and wept. Kola looked small. Security took them out. The gossip blogs tried to twist the story, but the video from the hall spread faster. Real people, real voices. The scandal fell apart like dry bread in soup. Brand's managers called and said, "We are sorry." Emily laughed quietly and did not say, "I told you so." She went home with Larry and Amara, tired but light. The air moved like a soft drumbeat. Emily and Larry grew from warm friendship into something people like to call love. Not the kind that burns and ruins, the kind that cooks slowly and feeds. They did not announce it with fireworks. They lived it at the market, at church, in traffic, on the balcony, in little jokes, in patient listening, in the way Larry learned to make her mother's favorite okra soup. Emily's parents came to Lagos. Her father looked at Larry and saw something old and safe. He nodded once. Her mother prayed and smiled. "Peace is sitting in this room," she said. "But remember the keeper's warning. 1 year and 1 day." When the last week came, Larry grew quieter. Not sad, just careful with moments. He watched sunsets like someone counting golden coins. Emily noticed and did not pretend. On the evening of the last day, they returned to the jetty with Amara walking beside them, holding a small basket of flowers. The fisherman waited, eyes soft with knowledge. The lagoon shone like a sleeping animal. The old bead seller was there too, standing like a sentinel of time. The canoe slid out once more. The sky wore a robe of orange and purple. They reached the strip of sand again. The keeper of Promised Water stood, the mist around her smelling like clean rain. Time keeps its shape, she said gently. Have you fulfilled your promise, Larry? Larry looked at Emily. His eyes were full. I protected her joy the way a gate protects a garden, he said. I taught her nothing new, just reminded her who she was. And she taught me everything I had forgotten: how to laugh, how to listen, how to be small enough to be human. He looked at the keeper. But what I want is not mine to decide. The keeper turned to Emily. Your voice? Emily's throat tightened. He gave me peace, she said, voice thick. Not as gift in a box, but as a mirror I was brave enough to look into. He walked with me. He did not own me. He stood where the wind blew. If love is a door, he did not rush me through it. He waited and held it open. If it is right, let him stay. The keeper listened to the water, as if the lagoon whispered law. The sky softened. Many ask to keep what they love, she said. Few ask the way you asked, without fear, without greed. He may stay. Larry exhaled a laugh that sounded like a boy running into rain. Emily cried and laughed at the same time. Amara clapped and wiped her eyes. The fisherman smiled. Even the mist seemed to dance. But then, listen carefully, because this is where the story tilts. Where secrets open like umbrellas. Where what you think is the end becomes the beginning. The keeper raised her hands to seal the blessing, but the water shivered. A thin, sharp wind cut across the sand, and a ripple spread like a traveling rumor. From the ripple rose a woman in white, beautiful and fierce, eyes like lightning. She looked at Larry the way a mother looks at a son who forgot an errand. You made a vow, she said, voice low and strong. You promised to protect the girl with the laughter that guides travelers. You did, but you forgot one more promise. Larry's face drained. Ayo, he whispered, a name that tasted like old mango and first love. Emily's heart grabbed a rail. Who is she? She asked softly. The woman in white stepped close, her white clothes moving like smoke around her ankles. Long before Lagos, before followers and filters, he loved me, she said. We were children of a small river with big dreams. Jealous men split our time. He vowed to stay until he found a heart to protect, as he could not protect mine. He found you, Emily, and he did well. But the vow had two parts. After protecting one heart, he was to return and guide me across a dark water that waits for all of us. He must choose now: to remain in this sweet sunlight with you, or to keep the second vow and walk me to the gate that has no camera and no applause. Silence fell heavy, sweet and bitter. The keeper of Promised Water bowed her head, not in fear, but in respect. Hamara held her breath. The fisherman looked at the sky. Emily felt the whole world slow. Larry took one long breath that seemed to gather all his days, old and new. He turned to Emily, and in his eyes, she saw everything: the river boy, the silent guard, the man who burned suya at first try, the friend who waited, the lover who did not rush. He reached for her hand, held it with a care that could hold an egg. I love you, he said simply. But love is not a prison, and a vow is a vow. Tears rolled down Emily's face like rain with no thunder. She nodded, small but brave. Go, she whispered. Keep your vow. If love is a door, I will hold it open for you, too. She took the small basket from Amara and placed a single flower in Larry's palm. For the road. Larry's smile broke and mended in the same second. He turned to the woman in white, Ayo, and took her hand the way he took Emily's, with respect, not ownership. He looked once more at Emily, like a man taking a last drink of clean water before a long journey. The keeper touched the lagoon with two fingers. The water brightened, and a path of light opened across the surface, thin and shining, stretching into mist. Larry and Ayo stepped onto the water. They did not sink. They walked slowly, hand in hand, like a song going home. When they reached the mist, Larry turned his head and smiled. Small, grateful, endless. Then the mist folded around them like a hug, and they were gone. The lagoon was just water again. The sky was just sky. The canoe rocked gently, as if someone sighed. Emily stood very still. The keeper of Promise Water came close and wiped one tear from Emily's cheek with her thumb. Love that goes to keep a vow will come back with a new name, she said quietly. Do not grieve like those who have no doors. Live, speak, laugh. The world needs your voice. She touched Emily's forehead. The hair warmed, and something like a soft crown settled. Not visible, but sure. Peace is now in you, not beside you. They returned to the jetty. The fisherman nodded, eyes shining like whetstones. The old bead seller pressed a small blue bead into Emily's hand. For memory, she said. Memory is a gate. Keep it open, but guard it. Life went on, as life does in Lagos. Traffic and songs and rumors and lights. Emily continued her series, stronger and softer at the same time, teaching without preaching. She told stories of choices, of boundaries, of what it means to be seen. She did not hide her sorrow. She did not make it a show. When people asked about Larry, she smiled and said, he kept a promise. Those who had ears understood. Those who wanted gist went elsewhere. Collard disappeared from her story like smoke from yesterday. People said he traveled. Others said he changed work. But no one was sure. The shadowy group went quiet like drums after curfew. Amara found love with a kind pharmacist who read poems at night. Emily's parents visited more, and her father finally laughed with his teeth showing. Now, listen to the ending because it is the shock that will keep you talking tomorrow and next week. It was a year to the day after Larry walked into the mist. The city was soft with rain, the kind that makes plantain taste sweeter. Emily walked alone to the third mainland bridge at dawn, carrying the small blue bead in her pocket. She stood where the city ends and the water begins and whispered, Thank you. The lagoon stared back, quiet. Then, from the water, a small paper boat floated towards her, slow and stubborn, like a child carrying a secret. She knelt and picked it up. Inside the boat was a folded paper, old but dry. She opened it with careful fingers. The writing was beautiful and strange, like a language she almost recognized. She could not read it, but her heart understood. The paper warmed in her hand, and the words turned into a soft voice in her mind. Larry's voice, laughing gently. It said, I kept the second vow. I guided Ayo across the dark water. The path is lit. The gate is kind. I asked for a small gift. One day, just one day, to return as a stranger and see you smiling. The water said yes. Emily stood up, heart racing like drums at a wedding. She looked around. The bridge hummed. Cars began to appear. A bus conductor shouted names of stops like a song. A young man in a simple white shirt walked by, carrying a small plant in a black nylon bag, the kind you buy in a roadside nursery. He looked at Emily with eyes that felt like a home you have never lived in, but somehow know. He smiled, small and familiar, and said, Good morning. The rain smells like new beginnings. She stared, speech lost. He walked on, not stopping, not claiming, just passing like a blessing. She wanted to run after him. She did not. She remembered love is not a prison. That night, the city posted a mysterious new account that uploaded only one video, a quiet shot at the lagoon at dusk, with a soft male voice saying, "A vow kept is a door opened." The account had no name, no face. People argued in the comments. Fans said, "Is that Larry?" Others said, "Who is Larry?" Some swore they knew, others swore they forgot. The video never went viral. Yet, somehow, everyone saw it. Strange, right? And here is the last shock. The twist I kept like pepper in my pocket. You have listened to me, the storyteller, and you have trusted my voice. You have followed Emily through the markets of light and shadow. You have felt the water on your skin. You have smelled the rain. So let me tell you the final secret, the one that hums behind the other secrets. The reason I can tell this story the way a person tells a memory is because I am not a storyteller. I am also a door. Some doors are made of wood, some of iron, some of questions. Tonight, for the length of this story, I became a door for you. While you listened, something small and bright slipped from promised water through me and into your memory. If tomorrow you wake up and cannot remember the shape of Larry's face, but you feel unexpectedly braver, that is because love kept a vow in you too. If you hear bells on an anklet when no one is walking, do not fear. That is just peace, moving furniture in your heart to make space for more laughter. As for Emily, she kept living, kept speaking, kept laughing, kept choosing voice over echo. Sometimes, on very quiet nights, she goes to the balcony and whispers, "Thank you for loving me softly." And the wind, which hears more than we think, carries our words across the lagoon, past the bridges, past the market, past the sleeping boats, to a place where vows shine like stars. There, a man who was once a spirit, and a woman wrapped in white smile, without lips, and answer without sound. You are welcome. This is where I stop, because the rest is not mine yet. If you see a paper boat on a rainy day, pick it gently. If a stranger in a white shirt smiles like he recognizes your joy, smile back. And if you hear someone say, "One kiss before midnight" in a dream, do not be afraid. Ask your heart for its secret. Give it honestly. The storm will come, but it will break. Peace is not far. It is already on the way, tapping small bells at your door. The end. The moral lesson of this story is that true love is not about possession, but about protection, sacrifice, and helping someone find peace and their real self. Kindly leave a comment, like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.